We've seen the ongoing failure of the two-state solution in Palestine, right? For decades, that model has been pushed by the powers that be, promising a peaceful separation. But it's never worked. If anything, it's just cemented the occupation, entrenched the apartheid system, and ensured the suffering of Palestinians. But here's the thing. There was another path, an alternative vision for peace and justice, one that Einstein himself advocated for. Before the world was consumed by the ever-growing conflict, Albert Einstein, one of the greatest Jewish intellectuals to ever walk this earth, saw the writing on the wall. He recognized the injustice of the Zionist project and rejected the idea of a Jewish-only state in Palestine. Instead, Einstein dreamed of a single democratic state where Jews and Arabs could coexist, share power, and live as equals. This wasn't some naive fantasy. It was a humanitarian, peaceful alternative for the madness that Zionism was spreading across the region. Einstein's vision wasn't about erasing Jewish identity or imposing one culture on another. It was about coexistence. An inclusive society where Muslims, Jews, and Christians could live side by side, each with equal rights, free from oppression. And when we look at what's happening today, when we look at the Israeli apartheid state, the siege of Gaza, and the genocide being carried out against the Palestinian people, it's clear that Einstein's vision is not just relevant, it's more necessary than ever. We've been sold this lie about a two-state solution, the idea that you could split up the land, give Israel its borders and give Palestine its own state, and somehow peace would magically appear. But that's never been the reality. The two-state solution has been a tool of oppression. It's been a way for the international community to legitimize the violence and the ethnic cleansing of the Palestinians while pretending to care about peace. It's failed because Israel's expansionism has made it impossible. Every time we hear about peace talks, there are new settlements popping up on Palestinian land. Every time there's a ceasefire, the Israeli military is ready to strike again, and the cycle continues. The problem isn't about two states. It's about the fact that Palestinians have never had control of their land, their lives, their destiny. And as long as Israel keeps expanding and enforcing its apartheid policies, no two-state solution will ever be viable. Einstein knew this. He saw the occupation and the segregation of Palestinians as an inherent part of Zionism. He rejected it outright. And here's the most important part. He didn't want a Palestinian state carved out of violence. What he wanted was a new kind of state, one that embraced democracy, equality, and mutual respect for all people, regardless of religion or ethnicity. The Israeli apartheid system, that's the reality Palestinians face every single day. It's not just about the settlements or the checkpoints or the military occupation. It's about a state that legally enforces segregation, that denies equal rights to its Palestinian citizens, and that treats entire communities as second-class citizens. Now, ask yourself, how long can we sit by and pretend that this is acceptable? The genocide of the Palestinian people is not a side effect of Israeli policy. It's the goal. This isn't about Israel's right to exist. This is about the fact that the Palestinians have a right to live, a right to a homeland, a right to dignity, a right to justice. And the only way to achieve that is by dismantling the apartheid state of Israel and building a new, just, and inclusive society. Einstein's vision was clear. A single state, not built on ethnic exclusivity, but built on the fundamental rights of all its people. Jews, Muslims, and Christians living side by side in peace, sharing power, and treating each other with respect. A true democracy, not one where some people are more equal than others. But for that to happen, The international community must stop enabling the apartheid regime of Israel. We must reject Zionism because Zionism is not Jewish self-determination. It's about Jewish supremacy. And it's time for that supremacist ideology to die like all supremacist ideologies should. The choice before us is simple. We either support a one-state solution where all people have equal rights and a shared future, or we continue down the road that leads to World War III, driven by the end-timers and techno-monarchists. If we do nothing, if we continue to let the Christian Zionists and techno-monarchists manipulate the situation for their apocalyptic agendas, the Middle East will continue to burn. And make no mistake, World War III is not some distant prophecy. These groups want it to happen. The Christian Zionists believe that Armageddon is necessary to usher in the second coming of Christ, and they see Israel's military aggression as a precursor to that. They see Palestinians as pawns in their twisted game. To them, the more destruction in the Middle East, the closer they get to fulfilling their apocalyptic visions. The techno-monarchists, on the other hand, see war as controlled chaos, a way to centralize power, eliminate dissidents, and reshape the world according to their authoritarian visions. We cannot allow this to happen. We cannot let religious fanatics and power-hungry elites drag us to the edge of total collapse. The one-state solution isn't just an alternative. It's the only way for peace and justice in the region. We must reject the false choice of the two-state solution and instead embrace Einstein's vision for a just, democratic state, a state where Jews, Muslims, and Christians live together in peace, not as enemies, but as equals. The alternative is a future ruled by fascism, genocide, and endless war. And that's a future we must avoid at all costs. Einstein saw the potential for a world of peace. Now it's up to us to make that vision a reality.